Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Mo Hariri. Mo Hariri is a husband, father, speaker, leadership and culture implementer who help companies and their teams achieve higher levels of performance, engagement, and employee retention. Mo brings 10 years worth of professional experience in leadership programs, traditional corporate and startup cultures. When it comes to HR teams, Mo has been described as the insider and the spy. Mo understands what motivates employees to perform better and what helps increase their engagement within the company. He is called the Idealogue for provoking others to bring ideas and create dialogue critical to bring change from within a company's culture. He has helped employees show up to work with purpose and authenticity. He supports people leaders with creating genuine relations with their direct employees. Welcome to the podcast, Mo.
Thank you, Dr. Kimberly. I'm very honored to be on your podcast today and enjoy this conversation to help others. And hopefully your listeners, they find something valuable and inspirational in this.
Yes, and I'm very excited to have you on here because
Thank you.
I was doing some research maybe about a year ago on happiness, because that's my topic, happiness and life fulfillment. And a Gallup poll said that 80% of employees are not engaged at work. They are unengaged, and I was shocked.
Correct.
We have a lot of unhappy, apathetic people. So I'm very excited to hear your story. So why don't we start out by you telling us a little bit about like where you grew up, where you came from, how you got to doing what you're doing, because I know you do other things besides that. So tell us about you.
Sure. So I grew up in Beirut. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon. Lebanon is a tiny country in the Middle East, but it's a beautiful country. I'm very proud of motherland. It's a very diverse country, and Lebanon originally is. Uh, we are very proud of the Phoenicians because we are Phoenicians, and the phoenix, as you know, is the bird that burned to ashes and then came back. So I am Lebanese, and I grew up in Lebanon until I was 21 years old when I immigrated to the United States. Within that period, all my life, with my family, we always wanted to immigrate to the U.S. So it was a dream of mine for 21 years until it happened in 2007. Uh, I moved to Michigan, and I started going to college here. I did my bachelor in electrical engineering, and then I did my master's in electrical engineering as well. Uh, as you know, in Michigan, the automotive industry is the main industry. So right away, I joined Chrysler Group, but at that time they were Fiat Chrysler automobile. I joined them in the leadership program. It was a rotational program that gave me a lot of exposure to executives. Uh, uh, they worked with me to develop me and grew me as a leader. Uh, and after 4 years and a half at Chrysler, I moved to California. I worked for a startup company for a year, and I decided to come back to Michigan. Came back to Michigan to work for General Motors. And all that time, I've been working on cars. I love cars and I love technology. So I have been working in the infotainment area. Uh, since 2016, I've been working for General Motors, leading teams on quality and to release radios and infotainment systems on most of the vehicles that you see right today, Cadillac, Buick, Chevy. Um, that was my journey, kind of the professional journey. Along the way, I got married to my beautiful wife, Heba. Uh, our we met. We were 11 years old in sixth grade. Is when I really knew she is going to be my wife. I really loved her. I used to enjoy every day showing up to school to make her laugh. So I was called the clown of the class, of course. Um, and then after I moved I decided to get married. We moved together here, and now we have two beautiful children. Adam is 5 years old, and Lana is 3 years old. Today is her birthday, and we have Elsa and Olaf all over the place. Um, so that's where I come from. That's what I do. But my for 10 years I've been in corporate America. I've been working as an engineer. By the same time, I always stood out as a leader within my team, my department. I'm always I've been always passionate uh, to improve myself. So personal development has been my main passion. You can call it a hobby. Uh, it takes my time all the time, really. I talk about it every day. I talk about it. It's my brand at work. I'm known as Mo, the leadership guy. That's what I talk about. I truly believe that everyone is a hero. Everyone is a leader. We were all born to become the leaders we were supposed to be. Some of us are on the right track. Some of us, we might die without knowing that leader or letting that leader come out of us. That's why I decided 2, 3 years ago to really start consulting for and helping employees uh, figure out how to live a purposeful life and integrate their life and work together. Um, my mission is to see majority of employees going to work happy, fulfilled, joyful, as much as they are at home. It's very hard to swipe out and badge out work and then transition into now I can be happy at home and then go back in the morning, put in a mask on your face and then walk into work and feel miserable for 9 hours. Because if you do it 40 hours a week for 40 years, this is your life. You can't say I'm creating a life work balance. This is your life. If it's not good, your life is not good. And this will lead to stress, and stress will lead to depression, and depression will lead to cancer. And then literally your job might kill you. So I I was able to find that kind of peace at work and that engagement, and I want to share it with everyone. I want to help business leaders, HR leaders, employees, team leaders, managers to figure out what is employee engagement, how they can make a small change to create a big impact and feel better when they go back at home knowing they are impacting others. So that's me.
Mhm. Wow, that is awesome. And so, what do people need at work to feel engaged, to feel like there is a reason for them to be there? Because, everyone wants to feel needed, useful, feel like they're actually contributing something. And no one truly wants to be apathetic and sad and trying to make it through the day. So, what do employees need to feel good about what they're doing?
So for employees, what they need is, and I always tell this to everyone I help, uh, if you are an employee today, you must be on a journey to answer three questions. Every day you're going to wake up and go to work. So the three questions you must be asking yourself and genuinely, authentically, uh, and being honest with yourself, find the answers. The first one is, uh, what do I do every day? So you're going to work, you're gonna badge in and sit at a desk. What are you doing? Is where you are investing your time helping you to achieve your ultimate goal? Are you learning? Are you contributing? Are you feeling valuable? So once we get on the journey to answer this big question, we start getting to the right answer. And if the answer is not what we need and what we're looking for, we need to make a change. Number two is, who is my support team? Who do I work with? Uh, Even an entrepreneur, a solopreneur today, they have to work with a network and they need a support team. Every we are a society, we are a tribe. Uh, we cannot be on our own. So who is your support team at work? You always have uh, a team leader or a manager that you have to work for. You have your friends and your coworkers you have to interact with every day. If this support team is not what you need and what you're looking for, then you have to make a change. And like, they say you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. If those 5 people are not who you need, then you don't have a circle of influence. You have a cage of influence
Mhm.
and a negative influence, right? So always think of who am I spending my time with? How can I help them, and how can they help me? And number 3 is why. What is your purpose to be there? Uh, this is a very big and cliche question, but it is what makes us jump out of bed every day and leave our warm and nice house and our family and our kids behind to go and spend 9 hours, invest our lifetime in something we do every day. So, why are you doing it? Is your mission and personal purpose aligned with the mission of the company? Will you be proud telling your kids, this is what I worked on and this is the legacy I'm leaving behind? If you are at peace with those 3 questions and you like the answers, then you are engaged. At that point, you have to start thinking, okay, how can I help others be engaged? You become an engagement ambassador. Um, this is what I tell employees to try to answer every day. Some Sometimes one of them is missing. It creates an imbalance. We have to go and try to fix it. And by fixing it, we have to talk about it, seek help, tell our manager, you know what, uh, I like what I do, but hey, we have a couple of toxic people in the team. We need to address it. Those are the 3 questions I tell employees to answer to to evaluate their engagement and their fulfillment.
Mhm. And if they're, let's say they're going to work, and I meet a lot of people like this. They have been doing the same thing for a long time, and and at one time it was their passion, but now
Hmm.
they're just bored. They're
Yep.
bored. They need a new challenge.
Hmm.
They're doing a good job. Everything, but they're
Yep.
bored. I
And
mean,
they might be happy at work. So those people are the happy, satisfied employees, but they are not engaged because there are, like you said, there are 70 percent of people today reporting disengaged at work. So only 30% are engaged, 70% disengaged. 52% of those are actively disengaged. Basically, they show up and do the bare minimum to be employed.
mhm,
They want a paycheck. They are happy with their paycheck and benefit, and they are just showing to do the minimum. They take a lot of coffee breaks. They wait for the lunch break. They wait until it's 5, and they go home and talk about how miserable and bored they were at work, but they don't make any change. Only 18% of those 70% are actively working on their disengagement. They talk about it. They change jobs, positions, companies, or careers. They might shift careers because they found out it's not what I like. Uh, that 70% is costing the US every year $400 billion. So every year in the US, we lose $400 billion because of disengaged employees. And this is what is keeping business leaders awake at night. And if they are true leaders, it's not only the money that's concerning to them. We they definitely have to meet their bottom line at the end, and they want a piece back of that $400 billion. But they realize that those people at their company, they are the most valuable asset they have, and they relate to them as uh, human to human, and they know those disengaged people are a single mom with 2 kids who has to try her best at work and at home to survive, a single dad, a person in an abusive relationship, but they have to show up at work and assume everything is fine, right? They have to do their best when they have to go home back to their situation, which is impacting their work life. But at the same time, they have to fake that it's not. Um, uh, and there are the parents with a sick kid, disabled kid. We cannot disengage our work or disintegrate our work and life anymore. And for that reason, we have to connect as a human beings at work and say, you know what? I understand your situation, and I know it's affecting your your work. I want to help you. I want to support you. And nothing is permanent. So at some point, the employee, you are investing in their life and their success. They're gonna come back. with a higher level of loyalty, and they will do their best for you as a business leader to make sure your organization is successful. So we have to connect as human beings, understand we all have our own stories, our own situations, how we can leverage support for each other so we can move ahead as one team instead of individuals. Uh, Once we have that shift of perspective, that those 70% start changing to become 60 and 50 and less.
Actually, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine about this last night. We were
Hmm.
talking about being more authentic in our lives. And he works corporate. I don't, but he works corporate. And I was saying, okay, can you show up to work and be authentic
Hmm.
without fear, or do you have to come in wearing that mask? How much can you share? Is people are afraid to lose their job. They're afraid to share the fact that their mother's dying at home, because they might look incompetent and they're going to lose their job.
Hmm.
So how can we be true to ourselves? Because I mean, for me to be able to be authentic all the time, no matter which situation I'm in,
Hmm.
would be the ideal situation, because then I'm truly being me. But then there's this fear. Well, what if who I am, or the way I am, or the situation I have at home would
Hmm.
cause me to lose something?
Right. So authenticity is something I'm very passionate about because I lived both sides of the coin. I tried for a long time to satisfy others. Uh, our system today in our society is based on other people's uh, validation. With social media, in high school, kids go and all they care about is how to prove to others that they are cool enough and to be accepted. So in our school system, we are being graded as soon as we are 5 years old, or as early as we are 5 years old. We are being graded, we are being evaluated. Like literally, my son started a kindergarten. The first grade he got is an F in math, and I'm like, I spend. He's smart. He knows all his numbers. He's been in Montessori. He knows all the numbers. We spend a lot of money to put him in this very good Montessori, and then he goes to school and he gets an F, first grade ever in his life. And I didn't want this to be a trauma for him. So we talked to the teacher, and it turned out he's writing the numbers flipped. So all his numbers were flipped. And then we addressed it in a week. He came back having an A. She gave him another chance, and he got an A. And this might change his life because now he sees, okay, you know what? If I do something, I will have better result. And an F, if we left it at an F, it would destroy his self-confidence. So in our system today, we are being graded as soon as we are 5 years old. We grow up in college. We are being if we don't join fraternities, sororities, we're not cool enough. So society is validating us and judging us all the time, right? So it's hard to, and then you go into workforce and you have to do your best so your manager can grade you, so you can get a bonus and move up. So that situation makes us uh, get away from being authentic. So now every year we're learning how to put a new mask. Most people today show up to work with a shield on and a mask on. They are trying to suppress their emotions, who they are, so they can show up as perfect as possible so people like them. And then we all go back to home, take off the shield and the mask, and try to be ourselves as much as possible. And that's why when people drink, that's when you see, because they don't have that filter and that judgment. When they start drinking, then you see the real them. So what I do and what I train people with, and this is like my favorite workshop, is showing up authentically at work, literally removing the mask. When I have to show up trying to satisfy my boss, my friends, the system, I'm putting different masks. Now I have to show up that I'm happy when I'm not happy, here that I am engaged when I'm not engaged, that I care about the job or this meeting, uh, different masks. And then on top of this, when you have women at workplace, they have to do double the work to prove themselves because they are women. And it's more masks being used. Now you're spending your time trying to fake your rig instead of investing that time into work and being yourself. So, and once you are yourself, you feel happy and satisfied. So what I ask people to do is lead with their own story, own it, because that's what happened to me. When I led with my story, when I opened up and said, you know what, I am this person who comes from the Middle East. I immigrated here. My English is not perfect. I don't know much about the traditions and the society here. But guess what? This is me. I'm going to embrace the change. I'm going to tell you who I am. And it gives me a sense of peace and happiness. Now, if you want to judge me, fine. This is your own judgment. I'm not going to let it affect me. And then when I start on this journey of being authentic, I start connecting with my past and my own story. I feel all the failures and the things I thought I was not proud of, now they are my strength. I was when I was raised and we didn't have much money and we had to be very resourceful. I never shared this with people. I never shared with people that I had to be. I went to a private school, and sometimes I had to stand outside because my dad didn't pay the tuition. They would call my name and they make me stand outside. Before I would hide this. Now I'm proud of it because today I'm a successful person because of those moments, because of my immigration story that made me. I got humiliated, but then that's what made me today appreciate and be grateful for everything I have and leverage all those experiences and look at them as those were opportunities for me to become better and better and better. So when I lead with this story, it makes me more impactful. And then I start connecting with people because they had similar stories. We all go through change and through hard times. And those are the things that make us who we are today. So I literally have everyone take a mask. I give them a mask. It's a white blank mask. I wish I had it here. It's in the back. And we start from when we were born, and we start going reflecting in our life. What are the experiences that made us who we are today until today? And this is the mask that has our story that we should show up every day with. Uh, once I know my manager's story, my coworker's story, I feel a family. And now all the shields start breaking down, all the masks, the fake masks starts going away, and you're only showing up as you. Um, it breaks a lot of chains off of us so we can really fly freely and move forward instead of being stuck in the present because of our past. Um, so this is what authenticity is for me, from a personal development and a personal peace um, state of level. But at the same time, leaders must be leading authentically by being vulnerable. So I always talk about this leadership spectrum. And when I tell people be authentic at work, some of them they feel like, oh well, do you want me to speak my mind and tell Becky walking through the hall that she looks bad today or her dress is weird? No, this is being obnoxious. I don't want you to be obnoxious. You will get fired for being obnoxious, and you are not a good, decent human being. But then most of us, 90% of people, are in the middle, which I call HR honest. This is professional. We are being professional. We're gonna protect everyone's feeling, and we're not gonna give real feedback, constructive feedback, because I want to be on the safe side. So I'm gonna be HR professional. Those are 90% of the people. This is the average. But then on the other side right here, when you add vulnerability to this side, you become authentic. Vulnerability is really having the courage, like Dr. Brene, I think I have it here. Where is it? Vulnerability is emotional exposure, risk, and uncertainty. This is by Dr. Brene Brown.
Uh-huh.
When we have the courage to be ourselves, to take risks, to fail, own it, and be proud of it, and then fix it, this is vulnerability. When you add it to honesty, then you are authentic, because people know that you failed, people know that you can fix it, and people know that you are better today. As long as you believe in it, then you are authentic. This is where leaders need to be authentic so people can connect with them. They're really it's uh, their direct reports can connect with them, and they can lead with influence instead of authority. Uh, this is my favorite workshop. I always find more and more when I do it myself.
Mhm.
Uh, and this is the mask that I look at every day and feel proud about.
Yeah. And when you said, leading with influence rather than authority, I mean, I don't see where leading with authority has worked very well in any situation, because as soon as the leader turns around or is out of the office, or people think they're not looking, they don't
Yes,
do what they're supposed to, because they were doing things out of fear or out of,
correct.
you know, just, but when you do it with influence where people want to be part of the team,
Hmm.
that's a huge difference.
Correct,
It's
correct.
a huge
And
difference.
and and if you lead with authority, your people will spend most of their time on LinkedIn trying to find a new job. When you lead with influence, people are loyal and they will go through any adversity or any challenging times with you because they trust you and they are loyal to you as a leader. And we all know those people who uh, we both can think of managers probably who, if they call us right now and say, hey, I have a job for you but it's less money, we would take it right away because we worked for them before, we trust them, and we want to be around them. And there's always this other manager who I worked for before, and if she or he calls me today, I'm going to say, no thank you, I'm very happy. um, this is how you can lead with influence versus authority. uh, yes.
That's true. And I always say never burn any bridges,
Hmm.
because you just never know. And the
Correct.
people like that you want to be loyal to, those are the people that, and again, you touch lives
Hmm.
throughout your life
Correct.
through different seasons.
Correct.
So if someone is feeling like they're having to wear a mask at work, or maybe the leaders are feeling like, they walk into the room and everybody is like stiff, they're
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're back on task, whatever. How do you start the process of being authentic? Does it just take one employee or one leader to start changing, and it helps change the people around them? How do you start that in a place where you're feeling kind of in a cage?
uh, I think it's about empathy, like, and I'm very influenced by Dr. Brene Brown. It's feeling empathetic to other people. When the manager or the leader, and this is uh, the the fun part of it. If you are a team leader or you are a manager or a business leader, your people, your direct reports are always looking at you, and whatever you do, they want to try to do the same because they believe this is the right way. So if I want my team to be authentic, I'm going to start with myself. Uh, uh, Bill George says he's a doctor from, he was the CEO of Medtronic, and he says, and he's a professor at Harvard as well. He talks about leadership, and he says, first you have to learn how to lead yourself. That's the I lead, and then you start leading others. The we lead. If the hardest part is leading yourself. So as a leader, you just go to your team and say, listen, I'm on a journey to be authentic. If you ever feel I'm being fake to you, let me know. If you show them that you want feedback, if you show them that this is my story, this is I lead because of my story, those are the things that make me who I am today. You start opening up, the team will start opening up as well, especially during one-on-ones, because when we are within a team, we're afraid of other people's judgment and validation. But once we are one-on-one, we will open up because there is that trust connection. Uh, and I always tell a leader, be the example you want other people to be just like. Uh, now, what every leader or every manager wants their team to be doing their best and go to a whole new level. Uh, I teach this acronym called TEAM, TEAM, trust, energy, accountability, and motivation. The first thing he has to work on is trust and loyalty, because if they don't trust the management uh, and the direction, they will never be loyal. They will never do the extra. They won't go the extra mile with you, and they won't do their best so they can achieve success. They will be focused only on their own success, not the team's success or the organization's success. So start building the trust. Trust is when we connect as a human beings, when we sit on the same side of the table, not across the table. When we practice gratitude as a team, so we can work out the muscle of faith. And once that muscle of faith is very strong, everyone will join and be faithful that we can win together, go the extra mile. E stands for energy. What kind of energy is your team emitting and living every day? So uh, we all heard, or every manager's dream is for others to say, I wish I can work for this guy. It looks like they have fun in their team. If if your people are having fun while working, you achieved a lot as a manager, as a leader. Uh, and this is where you have to create the energy of happiness and fulfillment. Uh, I always said to achieve a state of joy, which is a permanent state for a long time, you have to increase the moments of happiness. Happiness is an emotion, it's energy in motion. It goes, uh, we're happy one day having fun, the next day it's a stressful day, it changes, right?
Mhm.
But the more happiness we have, uh, the faster we get to a state of joy and fulfillment. So if a manager makes sure every week is increasing those moments of happiness, then the whole team will achieve that joyful state. And this is the energy that a manager should be working on with the team. How can they do it? Um, Fun meetings, uh, break some rules. We all know that we can break rules and still be safe. So
Mhm.
break some rules. Make sure you trust them and having them lead another meeting. Uh, Embrace ideas. Um, that kind of stuff will help the energy always be positive.
Mhm.
A is accountability. Because we have been raised being accountable all the time, we need to show that we are accountable at work. So the team needs to know that I am accountable of what I do because people are looking at my work. Thus, I need to be accountable. And at the same time, they want to make sure others are being accountable, because the most toxic environment is when fairness is not available. If myself, I have to do my best, and my coworker has to do her best, but I do better, and then she gets promoted, I'm gonna feel like there's no fairness. There is no accountability for, hey, she's not doing good and she's getting promoted, so why would she get the promotion? If there's no fairness, right away I'm going to be disengaged as an employee. So always make sure you're being accountable toward yourself, toward the team, and everyone is accountable for their own work, so you can create a fairness situation. The last one is M, motivation. Motivation can be external or internal. A leader must work on the intrinsic and internal motivator of everyone in the team. When I meet with different coworkers, I always work on their internal motivators. What motivates them to show up to work, to do their best? I'll give you an example. For one of my coworkers, we are great friends at work. Her biggest motivation that she is a woman, an engineer at work. So she wants to be a role model and an example for her 14 years old kid. So she has a daughter, and her daughter is very smart, and she wants to be a role model for her so she can become an engineer if she wants to, and become a great one as well, like a very successful engineer. That's her motivator. Her motivation is not paycheck. Her motivation is not only her success and moving up. It's because of this daughter I have at home. I want to show up every day and do my best. Once a manager realizes this, they're going to connect with her from that perspective and try to help her to succeed, because she can transfer that success to her house, and now she's living an integrated life between uh, work and home. Other people's motivation can be, you know what, I have to prove to my parents, or I want to become a leader, and I've been doing this like for me. want to move up because I want to impact more people. Uh, and I always thought of myself as a leader, and leadership is really a big part of my identity. This is what drives me to go to work, to live my brand as a leader. Uh, when they invest, when my company invests in me as a leader and they see me and they help me on this, I'm going to be very loyal and I'm going to show up because this is what I do every day. So try to find those motivators within every team member and work on them, connect with them, and it's going to be different for everyone. And this will close the circle to back to T, which is the trust. Now they're going to trust you again, and it starts all over. Um, that's what I recommend for managers to work on their team: trust, energy, accountability, and motivation.
Wow. And then how do you, like as a manager, how do you help everyone understand the big picture? Because a lot of times the manager or the supervisor, the person who's in charge, they see this big picture. They can see in the future, they see all the pieces, but each employee doesn't always, see their piece. They don't see how it fits in,
Mm-hmm.
or they have to do their job or do it a different way because they think, oh, it's good enough, this is going to work, but it doesn't work when you see the whole picture. And I know sometimes managers are trying to show them the picture, but they're just not getting it. How do they communicate, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is your piece, this is how it goes together, this is why it's so important, and get them on board seeing the dream? How do they get the people who are doing the pieces see the dream, the whole big dream?
Yes. So just like you said, it's a puzzle, right? Business itself is a puzzle. So when and it depends on different people's perspective. If you are an employee versus a manager versus HR versus executive management or the business leader, really. So I always discuss when I do consulting the employee engagement puzzle. So in the middle, so it's a 3 by 3 puzzle, 9 pieces. In the middle is you as an employee or the manager, HR, or business leader, right? And around it, there are the 8 other boxes or 8 other pieces where uh, we try to figure out which category needs work. So at the bottom, I always start with the main thing is purpose, mission, value. This is the main corner, main piece, building block for any employee engagement journey. Your people must come to work relating to your purpose and mission and value. Why? Because if I don't feel as an employee connected to a mission that's aligned with my own mission as a person, and I don't see how I am contributing to it, I'm not going to believe in it. And then I'm not going to invest my energy and focus and life. You look at companies like, uh, do you remember those old GPS navigation systems, the dash mounted? The company who made them were called, uh, oh my God, I forgot it. Uh, I forgot the name of that company. Uh, Anyways, so that company today doesn't exist. And because of, I wish I can remember the name. Anyways, um, they don't exist because their mission, or they are on about to file bankruptcy. Their mission was, we want to become a leader in the market we serve, and we're going to design the best product at the lowest cost and high quality. And you look at this mission, it's very egocentric. It's about them being a leader, so stakeholders can make money, and then and they want bigger market share. And then the other piece is the product managers, the product itself, to be the best product. What they forgot is 2 things, the most important 2 things: their employee, who is this person who's doing the product, and the other person is the customer who's going to use the product. So they forgot about the problem they are solving. They forgot about who is investing their life to do it. When you look at Apple's mission is very easy. We're gonna create tools so we can enable the human minds to push the limits and to create more and more every day. So when you look at it, oh, they're gonna help me as a customer solve my problem, give me the tools so I can become better. And that's why today everyone has an iPhone, an Apple Watch, a Mac, and people identify with Apple. I'm an Apple guy. It becomes part of my identity. So a mission is very critical for a company. And then the purpose. I need to understand why I'm showing up every day. Help me figure it out. It has to be aligned with my own purpose as well as a person. So your success and my success as an employee and employer are aligned. And the value, which how we do things every day. So this is the main block of the puzzle. The second one is communication. Communication is critical because we have to know what we're doing every day. We have to be transparent. And this is the key tool for me to understand you and you understand me. Uh, the third one is purpose, mission, open communication, values. This is the infrastructure for the puzzle. And then we have leadership on one side and management on this side. Uh, we all know of managers. They are not good leaders, but a manager can be a leader as well. Uh, what's the difference? A manager is focused on the process, on people doing their work, while leaders are focused on the best for the team and the team members before their own benefit. So you can have a manager be a great leader, but sometimes we only need a manager. I don't care if he's a leader. He's gonna make the process so optimized, and he's gonna achieve the results, and that's all they care about. Uh, Managers are what they do. Leaders is how we do it, really. And then we go to the top level where we have on one side is recognition and reward. People need to hear thank you. They need to hear, you know what, I appreciate what you did. I see you're trying hard. I recognize you. And it's always recognition before reward. Uh, we spend a lot of money on giving people probably a pen for a 5 years tenure or 10 years, right? But most people don't stay that long in a company. Most people, I'm not gonna wait 5 years to be recognized. But if you recognize me every time I do something good, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep that momentum. So recognition is very important, especially for millennials today in the workplace. And then we have a job on one side, the job design, make sure it's relevant. Uh, so I don't show up bored. Like you said, you know a friend or you know someone who's showing up bored at work. Make sure it's challenging. People want to be challenged. They want to feel that they can bring value and solve problems. At the same time, make sure there is learning in it. Uh, we never hire people to because they know everything. Then they are not going to do their best to learn something new. They're going to be bored. It's always there's a room for them to learn new skills, so I can help them build their set of skills and set of tools so they are more valuable to the company, and they see it themselves as well as employees. And then the last one is the pay, the benefits, the workplace, all of these as a package is the environment where this person is working. So make sure they are happy. Everyone is paying fairly today. So a pay is something we assume it's a standard. Not because you're paying a little bit more, I'm going to work for you, but you need to pay more because everyone is going to pay more as well. The benefits are, you have to be very creative with your benefits. I heard of a company, they are offering paternity leave. Pa is PAW, which is for dogs, because most millennials, when they get married, they are not having a child. So maternity and paternity is not working for them when they started a company, but they are getting a dog. So they need some time to connect with the dog and take care of their little puppy. So now paternity is very new and it's helping. Literally, millennials are looking for paternity leaves as a benefit. So this is the puzzle. What we do is, this is what I offer in my consulting. Not all the areas will be perfect or successful, and some of them they will need work. And the process itself is collect data first. When I start working with a business leader and HR, I'm an engineer, so I love data. We need to do surveys. We need to do interviews. We can start with one question, or we can start with 10 questions or 100 questions. Just make sure we start with data. We have some data to point us where to go. But once we have data, that's a promise to the employee. If I'm asking them to give me feedback, at the same time, I'm promising them that I'm going to do something about it. If a company doesn't do anything about it, next time they do a survey, no one is going to answer, or they're going to give you wrong data. So if you collect data as a business leader, HR leader, make sure to take actions. Identify who is going to lead employee engagement. It can be HR to lead, but they cannot do it on their own. They need executive management. They need the CEO involvement and investment into it. Not only financial investment, they need to invest their time and push for employee engagement and positive culture, and all the managers as well. Data, who's going to lead, and then design plays, design things, uh, really plays that will help engagement. They can be small things you can change, or they can be huge change, like new technology. Um, uh, but there's always something small. There's a lot of things, small plays they can do to make a great impact. Depends on where they need, which piece of the puzzle they need work with. Uh, and then at the end is you have to check and do a pulse check on the impact you did. After you execute, you have to do another survey. And you have to do the survey, I think most companies, they need to do the survey every quarter because they can react. If things are not working, let's change it. Let's check. Okay, now it's working. This is what we do in system design. When we design an airplane or a vehicle, every system within that product has a feedback loop to make sure we are on the right track. Create a feedback loop for you, whatever you are executing at your company for employee engagement on your employee engagement journey. So this is what I really tell business leaders and HR to start working on.
Mhm. Right. So it, I have learned so much just listening to you so far, and I'm sure there are people who would love to have your services. So I know you are offering some different trainings and consultation. Why don't you tell us about what you offer to
Mhm.
companies and employees?
So I always offer consulting services, basically talking to the business leaders about what they need help with. I offer first a free consultation session. I do more of listening, and then I come back with some kind of, this is what I think we can start with, right? After the consulting session, we move on with the puzzle, the employee engagement puzzle. We identify the areas we were going to work on, and we take it from there. Uh, uh, at the same time, I like, and this is something I'm very passionate about, workshops and training. My two main ones are authentic leadership, which I help employees and leaders to lead authentically, own their story, and put wear their own mask every day. My other workshop is TEAM, which is about taking a team to a whole new level of productivity and of happiness, of engagement. So those two workshops is what I offer, and they are tailored toward what the company does and they want, and what the employee need as well. Those are my main services. You can find more about this on my LinkedIn, and of course, I would love to talk and schedule 15 minutes with anyone to talk a little bit more in details about what I can do and offer.
Okay, so just connect with you on LinkedIn if they want to know more
Uh,
about your services.
Yes, LinkedIn is my main playground.
Mhm.
I'm always active on LinkedIn, uh, and they can find me on Instagram at mo_hariri_. For LinkedIn, it's Mo Hariri. Uh, you'll find me there. We can connect and we can start the conversation.
Awesome. So I'm gonna switch gears for a minute. What for you personally gives you the most happiness, fulfillment in your life right now?
Uh, the most, it's really impacting others. And I truly believe everyone is a leader. We were all born heroes of our own lives and leaders. Life and our system and our society today is working against us because it's very materialistic, and everything around us is trying to suppress that leader that we were born to become. Uh, and I always say to become because it needs work. You have to go on a journey of personal, internal journey to figure out who you are really and that kind of leader you were born to become. We can lead in our families as a father, as a mother. We can lead in our community. We can lead within our circle of friends, at work, in anything we can lead. Uh, so this one gives me a lot of satisfaction when I sit down with people of different ages, from an executive manager or director to a, a newly grad who just started. And this like literally happened last week, where someone was very frustrated with their current manager, and I talked to them, and they came back saying, "Thank you, Mo, because today I feel way better. Uh, I see it. You created mindset shift, and I see it as an opportunity for me to move forward." So creating impact, helping people, pulling their levers so they can figure out how better they can do, uh, gives me a lot of satisfaction. That makes me jump out of bed every day. That make me go to sleep with a smile every day, and it's the legacy I'm leaving behind.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, for all your contributing. Because, oh my goodness, 70% of the people unhappy. If you can just touch some of them, it will change the world. So
Yes.
thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kimberly. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm a big fan. I just listened to the last 4 of your podcast, and I'm a big fan now. Thank you for what you do and for giving people a voice so they can impact other people as well and be an inspiration to them. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you.